In this episode of Slow Boat Sailing, Linus returns to the boat after 5 months and you will see it covered in mold and bugs. Linus escapes the muddy boatyard. Rename Hiva Oa as Chicken Harbor. Subscribe so you can see our round the world trip and learn about the most interesting cruising sailors in the world. My dog Daly and I returned to the boatyard after our long trip from Louisiana via Tahiti to Hiva Oa, where the boat was stored in the boatyard.
A spider made a web here. So there are little black dead bugs everywhere in the fridge, and the curtains are badly mildewed. Need to get those washed right away. Came from a leak in this window. This is some sort of growth of mold. It's huge. Looks like battery 3 is dead. Just got on the boat here on May 21st, 2017. Battery 3 died. If battery 3 is dead, that probably means battery 4 is dead. We'll see. So there was a lot of water down here, about halfway full of dirty, awful water. Alright, I think I found why battery 3 was not working. There was a terrarium going on in battery 3's compartment because there was water that had accumulated there. It was kind of bilgy water. I don't know how it got there. Maybe from rain, not sure. But it built up there and started raining on the battery, and I think that shorted the battery. And that's why it's dead now.
I've been cleaning up this morning. I was woken up by the roosters, and I've been cleaning up all the bugs that had died on the floor. And as I was sweeping of the dust trap, I realized that the bilge was full, and I had not been running the bilge pump to save batteries. And so I think that's what happened in the battery compartment 3, that the bilge overflowed. This is very high.
I was able to buy a lead acid replacement battery for my AGM battery at the gas station. One of the great things about lead acid batteries is that they have the same charging profile as AGMs, which are harder to find in remote ports.
The Savatage, which is just up the hill from the anchorage and the boat launch. So you just climb the hill about 100 yards and you'll find the Savatage. And it has a beautiful view of the bay. It also has some of the fastest internet in all of Hiva Oa. The internet cost about 500 CFP when I was here, and that's about $5 for 24 hours. They usually change the password daily, so you need to see Sandra or whoever's helping her when they're here. Sandra usually comes around 9 a.m. During the week, and that's a good time to drop off your laundry or ask her to do anything else that she might want to help you with. So for instance, when I left Hiva Oa after we first arrived in January, she gave us a cab ride to the airport, which is really too far to walk from the anchorage.
Awesome YouTube creators like Sailing the Vagabond and Chase the Story have used the internet here to upload their videos.
The thing about the Savatage is it's not regularly manned in a traditional sense. You should not expect to get any drinks or be able to actually even charge your laptop while you're here. So you want to have a full battery, and you want to bring your own drinks. And it's not unusual for parties to be held up here. On New Year's Eve, there's a big party up here. On Wednesdays, I think in the season when everybody's arriving, they're also having barbecues up here for a price.
They've
were transferring plywood from one spot to the other so it didn't sink in the mud.
The boatyard moved contango into position to be hauled out the next day while I readied the boat for launch. The torrential rains did not seem to let up while I was in Hiva Oa, and I wonder if its main bay has a different climactic zone than other parts of the Marquesas because it always seemed to rain while I was there.
There you go, there's a waterfall. You can see the brown water and the blue water is because of the runoff from the rain. I'm at this public cistern here in Hiva Oa. So I had several conversations with folks that live here, and they said that the tap water is not potable. It comes from the mountains, and it is not filtered whatsoever. But there is one place in Hiva Oa that has free potable water, and it's the cistern that is between the post office and the sports fields. It's actually right next to a little school and some tennis courts, and it has about 5 taps, and each tap puts out 1 liter of water for 1 push. If you continue to push, it'll keep on pushing out water. The water's not under very much pressure, and so I tried using a hose, but that was not effective. It just didn't have enough pressure to push the hose up the few feet that it needed to get into the bladders. So I'm trying to fill my bladders, but the only way I've found to do that is to fill them 1 liter at a time. And so each bladder has 150 liters. That's 300 trips. Plus I bought a funnel at the hardware store when I was buying some battery terminals in addition to make the process a little bit easier. I actually probably have more than 300 liters. I'm probably getting about 450 liters, so 450 trips. So it makes for an afternoon's work. Filling water can be very tricky. In the Bahamas, we never had any problems, or South Florida, because there was always dinghy docks and always fuel docks where there was water on a hose that you could drink. You might have to pay for it, but it was available via dinghy. But I've found in Providencia and here in Hiva Oa, and I think that's true in a lot of other places in the Marquesas, there's really not a hose attachment accessible by dinghy in all places. Agent in Providencia gave us free water that he collected, rainwater he collected from the roof, and we used that as potable water. We filtered it a little bit, but it tasted good. It was pretty clear. We had no problems, but it was very tricky to get because there was no way to get a dinghy to his house. You had to go over land 100 yards or so, and so I ended up going just several trips using kind of 5-gallon jugs that I bought, and then my jerry can, which is 5 gallons. But that took a long time. That took like 2 weeks. Today I've rented this truck, and this truck is going to be able to transport overland to my boat the water via bladder. And I can only do this because my boat is on the hard. So once I put it in the water, I won't be able to do this because I cannot transport bladders. They have to stay, or you have to decant them and I had no way to decant them in Providencia because I needed a battery to decant them. It was just a whole nother. I use the batteries to pump out the water from the bladders. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that contango is on the hard right now to fill water as much as I can. Alright, so we're getting ready to launch right now.
With only 3 days after arriving from Hiva Oa, I was out in the boatyard, but I was not ready. We didn't have a main up, and we just barely got the Genoa up before departing.
Unshaven. I'm pretty tired. We had I had a really rough day trying to prep the boat to leave. I requested the Wednesday haul out, but you know, by Monday I was thinking maybe I should go for Thursday because I had a few more things to do, or Friday, because you don't really want to anchor in Hiva Oa because it's just, there's too many boats in the anchorage. The anchorage is unsafe. I didn't get the extra day. They actually moved me on Tuesday morning while I was talking to somebody who wanted to join the crew. He didn't end up joining, but I don't even think the owner was there. He just had told his guys to move the boat that morning, and I didn't get a chance to talk to the owner that day. So what happened was it kind of worked united. I only got the Genoa up, and I only got none of the jerry cans were tied down. I just had them in the cockpit laying loose. So there were all kinds of things that I would have preferred not to go to sea with, but the good thing was it's not that far to Hanamoenoa Bay from Atuona's harbor, and so it's a really quick trip in. It's downwind most of the way. First part's upwind, but the last part's a sleigh ride. So it's something very doable, not a hard place. And to be frank, I think people spend too much time in Hiva Oa. They might rename Hiva Oa as Chicken Harbor because I think a lot of people come across and they're kind of 3,000 miles across, and they just are really tired of being at sea, and so they just don't want to leave their first port. And there's some civilization in Hiva Oa, not a lot, but some, and that they're just reluctant to leave, even though the anchorage is really bad and it's overcrowded. Hanamoenoa Bay, you can see Hiva Oa in the distance.
Thanks to the miracle of the internet, you can watch more of our videos absolutely free by clicking on one of the boxes around here, or click the round thing and you can subscribe. And better yet, hit the bell notification so you'll see our next video.